Hello and welcome. Today is going to be a quick mobility sequence for when you don't feel like making it an official yoga situation. Sometimes we put a yoga practice on our pedestal and we don't really want to touch it unless we're like really zen, but sometimes the body just needs to move. So let's just move and noodle through everything so you feel nice and loose. Okay, so we're just going to start with some neck flosses. So you can press your right hand out to the side, flex the palm of the hand, and then move the head away from the neck. And this is going to get into our median nerve. You can play around with your shoulder, lifting up and pressing down. Make sure to breathe, even if it's just a mobility sequence and not a yoga practice. And you can also play with your head, moving a little bit closer and away from the hand. Nice. Wonderful. And then let's release. I like to go through the center so the head stays nice and loose over to the other side. And then again, you can play with the shoulder lifting up and down. It's going to change the pressure on the nerve. And you can also play around with the head, center, and away. You might notice differences from left to right. And you might notice tension or pulling anywhere between the head, along the arm, into the thumb. To the middle finger. Good. Let's go back to the first side. Start off the same way, pressing the palm of the hand away, but this time we're going to bend at the elbow, like we're calling someone with our hand. And you can again either play with your head, center, and away. This time we're going into the nerve that's going more towards the pinky finger. You can also play the shoulder up and down. The ulnar nerve. Some people like to place the thumb and index finger together. And then we'll switch to the other side, release over to the other side, and then again, pressing the hand away, and then this time flexing at the elbow, palm towards the face. And if you like, you can bring thumb and index finger together, and you can either move the tension through the neck, or you can shoulder up and down. Can also go really nice. Sometimes might feel better to be more stationary, to move a little bit more, see what you need today. And then we're going to go back to the first side for our last one. This one we're going to place the hand in front of us like you're saying stop, and then show them your nails, and then say high five to someone behind you, going more into the radial nerve towards the thumb and the index finger. You want to internally rotate your shoulder. And again, lifting and lowering the shoulder. You can play with the angle of the arm. Maybe you need to move it a little bit further away. Maybe you feel it right away. And also, maybe with the head. Feel this one. Good. Take it easy, especially when you're dealing with nerves. We're going to go to the other side. Stop. Show them your nails. High five behind and internally rotating your arm. Maybe 20-30% of intensity. Nerves don't like to be stretched so much. That's why we're trying to floss them, just moving back and forth just to get rid of any stickiness in the fascia around. Good. And then you can slowly release. And then we're going to right away go into some spinal waves. So you can bring your feet hip width distance apart or a little bit wider. And since your head is already down, I'm going to roll down. And as we come up, we're going to lead with the crown of the head. So you can imagine that you're waving your spine Or you can imagine that you're drawing a circle through the crown of the head. So the circle going in the back half and then the front half. And you can allow the breath to just sink up however it likes to sink up. You don't have to go super far, just until you feel the stretch in your back and coming back up with a long spine. Maybe one or two more. And then we're also going to go the other way. So once you're up, this time going forward with a long spine, like a flat back. And then once you're down, you can bend your knees around the spine and roll up. The arms and the shoulders just hang, they come along for the ride. And this rounding and straightening again allows us to loosen up through the spine, through the shoulders, and find some mobility through the posterior chain of our body. Good. Next time you're down, just staying there for maybe a moment. You can swing a little bit side to side. Good, and from here, we're going to go into a squat. So you can bend your knees and turn the toes out to the side. And if your heels don't touch the ground, no problem at all. They can stay lifted. We're going to take a moment to reach the knees side to side, to open up a little bit into the inner thighs. Maybe your Achilles heel is starting to warm up. Maybe you can touch the knee towards the floor. Not necessary at all. Also starting to feel it in the side of the waist. Good. And then maybe it's possible to reach the heels down. And if not, completely fine. Good. From here, we're going to inhale here. We're going to link up with the breath. And as you exhale, you can move towards straightening the legs without having to straighten them. This time with the toes a little bit turned out, this will get into slightly different lines of the muscles in the backs of the legs. Just a few times. Inhale, lift through the heart, and exhale to fold, letting the head hang, maybe two more. And again, you don't have to fully straighten the legs. As long as you feel something in the backs of the legs, you're perfectly fine. Next time you're down, we're going to get into a little bit of a twist. You can bring the right hand in front, reaching the left fingertips up towards the side. Some people like this long line. Some people prefer bringing the hand to the shoulder. As long as you have a little bit of a twist and you're finding that lengthening through the whole side of the body, through the chest, you're doing great. Now let's go to the other side. Bring the left arm in front of the left thigh and either extending through the fingertip or maybe through the hand on your shoulder. See what feels best for you, where you can get that rotation through the chest. Good. And then you can come back to center and just allow yourself to completely round for a moment. Let the head hang. Tailbone can be heavy. Maybe you want to rock them back and forth a little bit. Good. And then from here, let's get into a downward facing dog. Nothing precious, no perfect down dog. Just getting into the space where you can lengthen the spine, knees can stay soft. Maybe feel some opening through the shoulder. Head can hang. Good. And let's take a step forward with the right foot. We're going to lower the left knee right away. Good. Let's just come up into a low lunge for a moment. Maybe you want to cactus the arms, just to circle a few times here. Ooh. Finding the balance. Good. And then we'll go into a side angle variation. So you can keep the left knee where it is, but just open up the hips to the left. So my left toe is going to look more towards the right. Right forearm onto the thigh and pressing the hip forward so I can start to circle the shoulder. Incorporating a lot of shoulder stuff and hip stuff, assuming that a lot of people feel their shoulders, their neck. Whenever there's stress, most people tend to carry tension there first. Good. Nice. Wonderful. Good, and then I'm going to bring the hands to the inside of the right foot. Lizard pose variation can bring the right foot out to the side, and you don't have to come very low. I'm just going to wiggle around here a little bit. Of course, if you want to lower onto your forearms, you can. Today I'm just going to move a little bit side to side, feel into the hips. Wonderful. And then I'm going to take it even further so we can lengthen the outer edge of your left foot, of your left leg. I'm going to place the left hand down and I'm going to roll onto the outer edge of my left foot. You might have to wiggle your right foot back a little bit more, often referred to as side cobra. And here you can roll around a little bit as well. The left shoulder can come up to the ear. And if this is too short of a distance for you, you can extend your left arm a little bit further forward. Good. And I like to roll around here a little bit. This gets nicely into your lats and your serratus, these muscles here. Maybe you feel it along the outside of your left leg as well. Getting into the IT band, the gluteus muscles. Good. And then you can ground your right hand again to the inside of the right foot. And we're going to inhale, heart forward, and exhale, hips back. Just get into the back of the right leg a little bit more. Maybe you like to flex your front foot. This is a little bit of a variation. If you prefer to bring the hand on either side of the front foot, you can do that as well. Either way, just feeling into the front of the hip, back of the front leg, and creating space, letting the breath move the body. Good. And then we're going to switch sides, grounding the hands back into your downward facing dog. If you're a vinyasa junkie, it's be time to do a vinyasa. Otherwise, just stretching it out. Before we go to the other side. When you're ready, you can step the left foot forward. We go into a low lunge for a moment. Reaching the arms up. And maybe cactusing the arms because it feels good. Inhale. Exhale, allowing your hips to sink. Inhale. And exhale. You go into that side angle variation. So your right knee stays where it is, just the toes turn towards the left. So you can open your hip a little bit out to the right side. I'm going to wiggle my left foot in a little bit to feel more safe. If you need to double up your knee, pat it somehow, go ahead. Otherwise, forearm to the left thigh and then starting to just circle the arm here. I'm pushing my hips a little bit forward so I can really feel it into my right hip as well. There's nothing better than circular motion, especially if we think about our hips and our shoulders. They're, ball and socket joints. And so circular motion really helps to lubricate these joints, get into the full range of motion. Wonderful. Good. And then you can slowly bring the hands towards the floor. Toes towards the back as well. And then I'm going to wiggle the left foot out to get into more of a lizard shape. Again, you can just shift the hips a little bit further forward, feel into them. If you like lowering onto your forearms, you're welcome to do so. Again, for today, I'm just going to stay up. Breathe into them. If you want to wiggle, again, this is not an official pretty yoga class. Just noodling through the body, loosening it up. Good. Come into the side cobra variation by placing the right hand towards the floor. I'm going to roll onto the right side, right foot. Left foot wants to wiggle a little bit back maybe. Maybe the right hand needs to come a little bit further forward so you can allow the whole side body. So we're not in the front, we're not in the back. We're really extending through the whole right side. This time my right foot is flexed and it's pressing a little bit into the floor to get that tension. Maybe you like to wiggle a little bit back and forth. And especially if you keep the left foot forward, you might also feel it in the outer hip of your left leg. Whew. Good. And then let's come back into square. And starting to move the hips forward with your inhale and back with your exhale. Again, you don't have to fully straighten the left knee. As long as you start to feel something in the back of the leg, you're good. If you want to bring the hands on either side of your front foot, that's perfectly fine as well. Releasing tension through the neck. Allowing the breath to simply sync up with however your body wants to sync it up. Good, and then let's come into a downward facing dog. Again, for those vinyasa junkies, this would be the moment. Otherwise, stretch it out. Good, and I'm gonna lower the knees to come into Gomukhasana. Starting with the right knee forward. I'm gonna turn the right toes out, left knee behind, and I'm gonna sit between the heels. Good, and my outer hips are also quite tight, so this tends to be a posture that's sometimes accessible, sometimes not. Option to always extend through the lower leg to come into half Gomukhasana. I'm going to take a few variations here. Let me come back. So we're going to start with a side bend. So with the right knee on top, we're going to go towards the right side. So right fingertips to the side. You're going to stretch through the left side, compressing the right side. Trying to keep both sit bones grounded, and it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as you feel those lengthening sensations through the outer hips, you're totally fine. Good. And then let's come up, and then we'll take a little twist to the right as well. Maybe the left arm wants to come in front of the thigh, right fingertips behind, pressing the sits bones into the floor to lengthen through the heart, allowing the right shoulder to move back, gazing bit by bit behind you, moving into your twist. Good, and then coming back to center, shifting the weight forward. If your lower leg was extended, bend it back in. Maybe down dog, maybe just on all fours. And then we're gonna switch sides, left knee forward, right knee behind, and then creating space for your bum to sit down in between. Might also have to move your calf flesh out so you can really feel the sits bones grounded. Again, option to extend your lower leg so you're in a half cow face pose. Yeah, you might feel that this is enough. Left leg on top, so we're going to bend up and over towards the left side. Good. Trying to keep both sits bones grounded. And this foot is trying to escape, to pull it back in. And that helps to shift the weight a little bit further forward. Good, and then we're going to come up, top leg, left leg, so we're going to twist to the left as well. Using the breath to ground through the sits bones, open to the left. Enjoying the sensations as opposed to having to force yourself into some sort of shape. We're just moving, we're just loosening up. Good. And then we'll slowly come back to center. I'm going to ground my hands, downward facing dog. We're going to come up to standing to finish. If you like to walk the feet forward, you can roll yourself up. Good. And we're going to finish standing with some back bend / shoulder openers. You can find a tree, a wall, a post, something where you can place your hands. And we're going to walk the hips back to open the heart. So it's like a puppy pose variation against the wall. Legs are straight or straight-ish, moving your hips back so you can open the heart. I like to sometimes bring the hands a little bit wider and press one shoulder in after another to really get into those pecs. And just a variation for you to try. Otherwise, keeping it nice and square, rolling the outer armpits towards one another to keep the shoulder blades broad as you open through the heart. You can dangle and bounce a little bit. Good, and then let's slowly come out, release the hands. And just an easy twist. Feels nice to twist after back bends. Good. And then you're done for today. Thanks for joining me in mobilizing your body. I hope it felt good, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.